What's up? It's your boy Carcino here, and let's talk about it. The battle inside the Wu-Tang Clan. There have been many of those, but one that sticks out the most that I remember is You God and the RZA, because this is a consistent head thumping all the time. And here's the situation. When You God Wu-Tang first got started, You God was not known for his rapping. I mean, to be honest, like him and Meth like clicked, but he was like the guy to be like, "Yo, give me a beat, You God," and You God to clap his hands, beatbox, and they rhyming, and him and Capadonna was kind of like the two that vibed the most. That was like Kappa's beat, man. Like Kappa be flowing for like an hour straight, just off one beat. You know, just a beatbox can go. And you know, him and Kappa, they 5%ers, and mostly everybody in the Wu-Tang was 5%, and that's what they normally had in common. But they still did they grimy stuff on the side. But You God, who is Universal God Allah, decided that when they formed Wu-Tang, he was going to do his thing. Like, he was cool. He was going to be a member. And he started to flow. You know, they was like, oh, he got flows. You know, he kind of tight. He started getting better and better with the rhymes and kept coming back to RZA crib and everybody hearing him rhyme. So he was in the crew right away. Donna wasn't really in the fold. He was rhyming, but you could have put him in the original if he was to ever join the Wu-Tang. But he didn't come along until after the fact. When Donna actually came into the fold, it was a little bit like once the Into the Wu-Tang album popped, then Donna was like, okay, yeah, this thing could really do something for me. Then he was on board, full swing. But lies the problem. When they came up with the plan of structure, it was always said Meth was going to be the first to come out with the album. You know, Method Man, like his verses, everything, Meth was ready. The world was ready for Meth. So Meth was going to be the first one after the solo artist to come out after the Wu-Tang album, the success it had. Then they were going to come with Old Dirty Bastard. Then they going to come with Raekwon the Chef. And then they going to come with the Genius. Okay, at this point, the RZA wasn't even talking about doing a solo album. That was the whole plan and the layout for the plans. Have the albums drop in succession like that. They all gonna work on this project, and that project, and this project, and that project. And after that, it was supposed to be an Inspector Deck, then You God. So that was the way the order was going down in the line. As far as for independent albums, the RZA wasn't even thinking about putting out an independent album on his own. They just wanted to do all those albums in succession. So everybody playing the role because they like, okay, we all gonna get our turn. So Ray and Ghost was gonna do one album together because they considered them a tag team tandem. You know, Ray and Ghost. So they was like, okay, well, Ray and Ghost, y'all got y'all album. But once everything started happening and the way it was going, it wasn't enough money to split around with everybody with one group. That's why everybody had to go out individually to get their own deals. And that's how the RZA wanted it to work. That's why he didn't keep everybody under one umbrella, because it's not going to be enough to feed everybody. Once you start making money and they giving you $3 million for a budget and you got to split that with 9 people, people are going to be like, hey, where's my money? I mean, I should be doing this. And each one of them's net worth is about Probably $1 million at that time. So how could you feed everybody off that doing a Wu-Tang album? The album will never sell enough to take care of everybody and make sure everybody's happy. So what you got to do is get everybody their individual deals. So that's why you see so-and-so album come out, Mev. All those albums came out the same way the plan was. Then after the Genius album came out, all of a sudden, here comes Ghostface. And it was like, whoa, what is this? That was the shock of the hour, because when Ghostface album came out, that was never supposed to be done. People was like, oh, whoa, Ghost is getting an album? We just did a Raekwon album with Ghost. That was basically Ghostface, Ray. That was their album. Then Capadonna's working on an album. It's like, whoa, hold on. We went from Kappa, what about Deck? And Deck was like, I'm good, don't worry about it, because Deck had a deal to do an album. But his stuff was even pushed back. And he was feeling a certain way too, like, yeah, you kind of got it right, Huey. But you God was the vocal one, he no nonsense. So right off the bat, he was feeling a certain type of way about it. So he telling cats, man, you know what I'm saying? This dude got his favorites, man. How does this thing keep recircling around the same people, man? Ghost just had an album, now he putting out another one. And Ghost my brother, but he know that's foul. And they was like, man, you just gotta wait your turn. You know it's coming. And the RZA's trying to tell them without hurting their feelings. Like what he basically trying to tell you, God, is like nobody's feeling you really. If we drop a, he just and you God is like, cool, nobody feeling me, fine, let me fail, but at least let me throw my album out there. Don't skip the plan and leave me out there. I might just surprise people. You never know. Give me my shot for me to be in the lead. You got everybody else jumping out. Then RZA got an album coming out. He's got all this Bobby Digital and all this stuff coming out, but he's like, wait a minute. I've been pushed to the side. So, he felt a certain way, but he played his part because they was doing the Wu-Tang double CD, so he just laid back again like, okay. Then here come Meth is doing a second album. Everybody else is doing albums, and he's still pushed to the side. So he had to confront RZA once again over his album. So RZA said, fine, man, we're going to let you do your deal, man. We're going to let you get your shine. We're going to let you do your album and blah, blah, blah. So he did his album because he caused so much riff. RZA really didn't want nothing to do with the album. And his album sold like 200,000 copies. Inspector Deck put his album out. They really didn't push Dex as much either, but they really didn't push You God. It didn't even ship gold. And the video didn't get a lot of spins, and they really didn't push You God album at all. The Wu-Tang, nobody really did. They never really got behind it. So his album was released, but it was basically on him. So it kind of got like shelved, and he never really got his due to be on top. And then the RZA was like, see, I'm kind of glad everybody put out their own CD. But RZA didn't want to come out and name names, because that's not what RZA do. He try to keep it, because everybody's egos. So he just like, I'm kind of glad everybody got to make a CD so they get to see, how it really is out there in the field and what marketing and everything else plays a part in everything. So he's trying to tell people, I'm glad to say you made an album, Huey, and it was whack. And the people showed you it was whack. So now can we move on? And you play your position. That's really what he was trying to relate over to him. But You God is like, man, whatever, just pay me my money and I'm straight. You know, because you God is, he not a flashy dude. You know what I'm saying? He'll buy some clothes and whatever, but he's a former hustler from the street. Baby U is a real dude from the street. Was no joking about him whatsoever. Matter of fact, if you see you God, he probably would still bust your head wide open. Not a joke. You know, is he a whack MC? No. He's decent. He's a lot better than these dudes. Any of these new dudes out. You know, he can hold his own with anybody. From just being around those minds and then him getting better and better and right, you can't help but to get better. So right now, he could probably drop an album and probably be one of the coldest Wu-Tang albums in the world. But it's the fact that nobody really embraced him and gave him that, all right, you, it's your time. You go out now. Go ahead, Golden Arms, do your thing. But, you know, it all gets resolved with money. Every issue seems to be getting resolved with money, but there's so many egos in the whole group. That's why groups are normally smaller and smaller. And you've seen every group fight. Every group, every band and broke up. Every unit then had a whole fallout because there's not enough money to go around. It's always one dude that's going to get the money and one guy that ain't. So he just happened to be the one that wasn't. So I'm out. That really was it. I mean, they still go back and forth over the years. He just sued the RZA again for the 8 diagrams. You know, I think he won or they settled for like 100-something grand, but you know what it is. So I'm out.